Good morning. My name is Jay Rothman, and I am coming to you live from the mountains of North Scottsdale. It is Saturday morning here on the West Coast. It is coming up to 9 a.m. in California and 12 noon on the East Coast. In any event, as I'm waiting for a few of you to jump on, just thought I'd share out a little bit of what I'm looking at, what I've looked at. We've got some clouds here, but some beautiful art unfolding in the sky just north of me, just above me. I am on the trail as I'm on my way back down. I'll say good morning to Lisa. Good to see you, Lisa. Coming in from outside of London in the UK, we've got Sabine, Cherie. Good morning, Cherie. How are you today? What are you choosing today, Cherie? I know yesterday I thought I saw you wearing a Choose Happiness t-shirt, and thank you for supporting the company that we launched back in the fall. But at this time, as I'm waiting for a few of you to jump on, I am completing my descent down from Mountain Trail. So you are now doing a virtual hike with me. I hope you get your heart rate up a little bit, and that it feels good, as good for you as it feels for me, as I am not hiking alone this moment. I've got you with me, so thank you for joining me. As I navigate down, here's just another shot of a couple of the boulders behind me. And it's a little cool out today. It's going to be cloudy all day here, and expecting rain for the next 3 or 4 days. Haven't had that yet. It's going to feel like a Seattle weather coming up over the next couple of days. So in any event, I wanted to just take a moment to reflect on my past week, this week that just concluded last evening. And it's been a really interesting week for me. It was really a week packed with a lot of emotions, a lot of things going on that just popped up for me. I want to just touch first and foremost on from a perspective of the live streaming shows that I did. I actually did something I hadn't done before. I had an opportunity. 4 different people popped into my world and came forward to do a show. And I don't like to put those shows off. I feel like when someone is ready to step into the studio, rather than set a date 2 or 3 weeks out, I'd rather just bring them in while they are feeling comfortable and ready to step forward. So I did 4 shows back to back, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We started the week out with Brenda Hammond coming in from Canada, and Brenda shared her story of her backstory and where she's at, and today helping others navigate through abuse, pain from abuse, and healing their mind, bodies, and soul. And then from Brenda, we jumped in with, I believe the next one up we had was Jennifer Ramsey. Came in from Sydney, Australia, and she was all about anxiety. And we had a beautiful conversation about how her life had been impacted by anxiety for decades, and we shared that in common. And so that was a beautiful show that unfolded. And next up, we had Daphne coming in. Daphne was DOA on the way in from a very bad car accident when she was 15. And she was on life support. Doctors wanted to harvest her organs. And to make a long story short, they pulled the plug on her. And she, not only did she survive, but she has flourished into a beautiful woman who today is married with children. And just an example of how we can defy the prognosis when we are willing to just not accept it. And today she helps others through healing their physical and or emotional pain that they are living in through the practices of the modalities that have worked for her. And then last evening I had Dr. Stephen Ez. Dr. Ez showed up in the studio to talk about science and talk about the laws of empowerment and how it is possible that we can in fact heal. And he's got an amazing program that he offers for basically a love donation. If you are on limited funds, you can find his program if you're interested to work on healing and opening up your thoughts and your mind to a new belief system that it's possible that we can heal. and that you could find his work at thelawsofempowerment.com. And so for me, what the week meant for me was it was a very rewarding week for me. I just absolutely loved the diversity of the stories that came forward, and obviously Debbie was a big part of the two shows that we did together on Real People, Real Stories, and it was just a great week. Although for me it was also very tiring. I put all of my energy into a show in a minute, and it takes time for me to kind of recover, recharge from the topic and being present. It was interesting because I didn't have really a chance to catch my breath from one day to the next. It was a great experience to push through some challenges for myself, and managing my energy levels so that I didn't deplete down to below 50%. But it was a challenge. It was a good challenge for me, and a lot of lessons that came out of that. But it was an amazing week. And I also posted this morning on Facebook about triggers. And, that's an interesting topic. It's come up for me this week on at least three occasions. I got triggered by people, places, and things, and so I had that swirling almost back to back. 3 days in a row, triggers popped for me, and I had to really go deep diving within to really look at what was behind each trigger, which was very unique and different. Each one hit me in a different spot within. And each one was an opportunity for me to, as Brett Potter said this morning, look in the mirror and look at why it had affected me. But I will say this is that, I'm working on regaining my balance from being impacted by each one of those and continuing to do some significant work within. And appropriately, doing Jessica Alstrom has a program she's got going right now. It's called Quantum Revolution Warrior Training, and it is still available if you want to pick up the program. It's a 8-week immersion program into healing, working on your stuff, your inner stuff, and it's been great. The 2 weeks in, tomorrow is the 3rd module, but it's available. There's a flash sale going on right now. Why not? If you're interested to get more information, send me a PM, and I can send you the link to sign up. It's got a flash sale going. It's usually, I think, $397, and I think right now it's $197. And I'll tell you what, it is worth probably $10,000 because it's an amazing program so far from what I have gathered. But this past module that I was listening to during the week, she talked a lot about triggers. Amongst many other topics, but for me today, and it's really easy when we've been triggered by someone else's words or behavior to basically just come back fighting, and also kind of basically just flush, just kind of push it off and basically put them down and say what a jerk they are, and whatever language you want to use to describe how they made you feel, and then we help ourselves feel better by basically just, burying that individual in words to other people. And in fact, there is a lost opportunity because behind every trigger is a growth and a lesson for me. All that tells me is that there's just more work. There's a part of the root that I had not pulled out, that I have not dealt with from my earlier years. Every trigger that we are hit with is something, as it's referred to, as Jessica referred to it, as its cellular memory from an event or an experience that happened in your past. Typically, it's from somewhere between the ages of 0 and 7 years old that impacted us as young children. We held on to it, we buried it, and it became part of our survival. We learned how to survive with that trigger in place, and then every time a similar feeling arises through someone else's behavior as a trigger, it pops back up for us, and in that moment is where the opportunity really lies for, instead of me to call that person out or basically write them off as the jerk or whatever language you want to describe them as, it's the opportunity for me to really look inside and go, why was I just triggered by this? Why was I just so affected? What is it about something from within me that I need to work on? And that is an amazing process to walk through. For me, at least, it's been an amazing process because it takes work. It's a lot easier just to blame someone else and basically compartmentalize the experience, the emotion behind it, and we think we've let it go, but we have not let it go. We just bury it, we compartmentalize it until the next time a similar scenario pops in, and we're right back there as that 3-year-old, that 5-year-old, that 7-year-old, that 10-year-old, that 12-year-old, that 15-year-old, right back in the mess, right back in the muck of it. And I'll tell you what, I don't like that feeling. I don't want to feel it. But instead of burying it today, I choose to really look at it, look in the mirror, and really assess what is it about myself that caused me to feel the pain, to feel that emotional anger, resentment, shame, guilt, whatever that negative emotion was, the feeling of less than, the feeling of the insecurities that pop up. All of those are really important to look at. We've got some fighter jets. It looks like, I don't think I caught them for you guys, but 2 of them just went flying by. But in any event, that's really where the real gift comes in. See, a trigger, we could look at it, and when we get triggered, we're physically we're affected by the trigger. We're affected by the emotion. Our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure probably rises, our ears turn red. We have that inner gut feeling of anger and being pissed off or sadness or whatever it is. But I'll tell you what, that's the gift comes in, is that if we're willing to really be honest with ourselves and take a look within and really question what is behind those emotions. Why am I letting this individual affect me to this extent? Therein lies the opportunity to explore the store and the store from within, and look at how we can learn and grow and basically do a little bit more weeding, weed out the part of the root that no longer serves us and be able to release it. And so it's a process, but it is a beautiful way to live life today. So every time I got tagged 3 times this week. And that's very unusual for me to have back to back a trifecta of triggers that popped. And Mary actually had one as well. And so we were both going through the process of self-assessment, self-evaluation, and holding each other's hand as we navigated through our own emotions behind our own triggers. And I'll tell you what, in between my 3, her 1, I had the 4 shows that I stepped into the studio to do. And so it was a very, very interesting week, to say the least. But here's the truth. Here is the truth. I am smiling right now. I'm smiling because I'm okay with all of it. I'm better than okay. I'm in gratitude. I'm in gratitude that I'm alive today. I'm in gratitude that I'm well enough, even with the pain, to take these hikes that I take on a daily basis. I'm in gratitude that I'm not alone, that I always have, let's say, three beings by my side. I've got the divine. That's one. The second is I've got myself, and the third is I've got Mary, and of course I've got a couple of dear friends to my heart that are right there with me. And so I just get to show up for myself today and do life differently. And even though there are difficult moments and there are days where I am feeling a low on my vibration, as they say, I'm feeling a little down, and sometimes I'm able to kick out of that really quickly through music, through a hike, through exercise, through doing the shows, whatever the tools I reach for. And there are days where it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes 2 days or 3 days. And I've had some times where it takes a week to allow myself to settle out from those negative or those low vibrations. Good morning. And so that's about what I have on triggers this morning. I invite you to share. If you hear something or heard something that you like or love, feel free to gently press with love that like a love button, and feel free to comment away, share what if you've had any opportunities through triggers this week, what that looked like for you and how you have navigated through it. I'm going to do a check-in here. Emma, thank you for joining me. Jack Hay, or Jackie, good to see you. Deb, good to see you, Debbie. Lisa says, so true, everything is an opportunity to learn, grow, and heal. So Nali, thank you for joining me. Marcia, good to see you. Adele is coming in from South Africa. So nice to see you today. David, could you tell me, I don't recall, are you coming in from India? Or what part of the world? Are you coming in from Pakistan? Not quite sure. Louisa Dyer, good to see you. Milagros, nice to see you as well. Gerhard, also a friend coming in from South Africa. Gerhard says, yes, thanks, I'm very well. Unfortunately, can't watch right now as I'm on mobile data. That's okay. You know, there's not, it doesn't matter when we show up. If we show up early, if we show up late, we show up, we're just right on time, and that's all that matters. I miss a lot of lives as well in the mentorship and the coaching communities that I'm engaged in, and I watch most of my coaching and mentor opportunities on replay, and that's okay. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm behind, but I'm not behind them. I'm right where I'm supposed to be in this moment. So here's another beautiful shot of these granite boulders that are behind me, and you can see the clouds are forming an absolutely beautiful piece of artwork today. Look at this sky here. It's just beautiful. So what are your thoughts on triggers? How have triggers impacted you this week? You know, I'll just share with you real briefly. The triggers that hit me this week, one trigger was I was impacted by a bully at the top of a mountain peak. I think I shared on that earlier this week. He tripped me up. He was verbally abusive and came at me, and I hadn't done anything intentionally to trigger him to come at me, but he did. And so there was, for me, it was an opportunity to go back a little bit and look at how it felt for me as a child to be bullied for 5 or 6 years in grade school, pretty much on a regular basis. So that was quite the another moment to look at some work that I have not completed in when it comes to the feelings behind being bullied consistently as a young boy. And the second trigger that came up just hit me. I got hit with two yesterday. One was by, unfortunately, someone in my life who I care very dearly about basically called me out. I had neglected to wish her a happy birthday. And to be quite frank, it wasn't that I wasn't aware. I was aware it was her birthday, and I had every intention of extending a happy birthday message to her. And I got distracted in that moment, and it went away, meaning I totally forgot. And so for me, the opportunity there was to hold myself accountable. And that's really what's behind triggers, is it's holding ourselves accountable. And when we hold ourselves accountable, we take our power back. We are empowered. When I was able to say to her, you know what, you're absolutely right. I was aware and I forgot, and I apologize. It was not intentional. I would never, ever have wanted to hurt you. And so therein lies where the growth opportunity is no matter what, I've got to own my piece. I've got to own my part, my behavior, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so there is the second one that popped for me, and how I felt on some level. At first, I felt like I needed to defend my action and give her the excuses, the reasons why, behind why I forgot to wish her a happy birthday. And in the end, I didn't need to go there. I just needed to acknowledge it. You're right, I forgot. It was not intentional. Let her know how I felt about her, that I love her, and own it, and just say, I apologize, and I do care about you, and that's the best I can do in the moment. And so for me, it was those feelings of feeling like I had done something wrong, It took me back to my childhood when perhaps I was called out by a parental figure, by a teacher, when in fact, although I had hurt them or done something wrong, it was not intentional, yet I felt less than in the moment. And those feelings popped right back up for me yesterday morning, and I had to work through it. And it's taken 24 hours, but ultimately, I believe I've taken the corrective action, which is hold myself accountable, apologize, understand that in that moment, how she must have felt. Perhaps her inner child was triggered by me not acknowledging her birthday. And so there was where empathy comes in for my relative. And then the third trigger, which was really an interesting one, was last night having Dr. Ez on my show. He had sent me a link to his program, The Laws of Empowerment, about a week ago. And there's many different recordings. It's all done on a podcast. And episode after episode. And so for me, what happened was I listened to about 2 of them, 2.5 of them. And each time I was listening, I would get lost in the translation because he's such a brilliant scientist and researcher. And whether it was that I wasn't ready to receive it or I was just distracted in thoughts, which is very possible because we have over 60,000 thoughts that race through our head over a 24-hour period on average. But I really had a hard time retaining everything he was saying. And so as we got closer to showtime, which was yesterday evening, I started to feel like I hadn't done my homework. I felt like I wasn't prepared. And part of those feelings that surfaced up for me was I felt less than. I felt like, how am I going to hold a conversation with Dr. Ez when he's got such a greater span and, let's say, he's got such a greater sense of knowledge and information. And here I am. I'm just a regular guy doing what I do. And how am I going to be able to hold my own in the showroom, in the studio? And I actually ended up with anxiety yesterday. I felt anxiety. Yes, Jennifer. I allowed myself to go there. But the beautiful thing is that I practiced healthy tools for myself. The first thing I did was I had the awareness that I was feeling less than and feeling like I wasn't going to be able to basically show up and be, let's say, his equal in the studio, and just from a standpoint of holding a conversation. The second thing for me was through the awareness, just understanding that I was just going to just lean into the divine and know that he and I were going to just show up exactly as we needed to, and regardless of how I felt, the show was going to go on, and somehow I would get through it. And the end result is, if you didn't watch the show last night, not only did Dr. Ez show up on time, just a few minutes late because we had some technical challenges getting him into the studio, which does happen on occasion, but the show ended up being a beautiful show. Not only is he a very, very, very smart man, I was able to get him to sing. He sang not only one song, but he sang 2 songs. One at the beginning of the show, and then he sang one to close us out. Now, for me, that was the reward. That was like, I was able to provide him with a safe environment where he felt comfortable enough to let his intelligence show and shine, but he was also able to let his guard down and just be. And he shut up and he sang 2 beautiful songs. One was a fun song from when he was a child. He went deep within us to pull a song out from his days as a child. That was at the end of the show. And when we finished the show, we had a moment after in the studio after we were off the broadcast, and he actually gave me one of the most beautiful compliments that I could have received from Dr. Ez, and it just meant so much to me. I was just in a moment of humility in that moment. He just basically said, he said, you have such a presence about you, and your ability to be an amazing interviewer and listen and then ask appropriate questions he was just taken back by how I showed up in my presence in the studio. And I tell you what, it felt so good to hear that from him. to get that acknowledgement. And even though I know today I don't need other people's acknowledgement to feel good about myself, right? I should need it. I don't need it. It still was a beautiful moment of healthy intimacy shared between Dr. Ez and myself. And so it felt really good. And although I didn't need it, because in my heart and my soul, I knew that the show had gone well, and I was comfortable with the outcome. And this morning when I woke up, I was able to verbalize and share with Mary before she went off to work how I had felt yesterday. I told on myself. I was able to say, I had anxiety, and this is why. And I felt like I wasn't going to be able to show up and be as smart as he was, be as intelligent as he was, be able to hold a conversation and understand anything he said. And that's part of the healing process, is when we're able to just tell someone that you trust and that you feel safe with, how you are navigating through those moments of, let's say, anxiety or triggers, and just be honest and be truthful. And, I believe that when I'm able to have the awareness and an acceptance and learn the lessons behind what I need to learn, behind those emotions and feelings, and share it with someone else, I get to grow, not only for myself, but in that relationship. That's another form of healthy intimacy. And so that's what I got. I am down. I'm off the mountain now. I'm standing really close to my car. I will just give you here's just a view of the parking lot. We've got all these beautiful cactuses and shrubs and trees. And that's what we got going on here in North Scottsdale. One last check-in. I want to just thank those of you. Greg Wendelkin is watching. Good to see you, Greg Wendelkin, coming in from Carefree, Arizona. He is a neighbor and a friend of mine for over 2 decades. Let's see who else we got here. Marcy, thank you for joining me. Let's see, Matt Kelly. Matt Kelly was my fraternity brother who was a year or so ahead of me back in college. Gina Marie, thank you for joining. Suzanne DeBozy coming in, I believe, from the Midwest. Gina Marie says, I could see how that can happen. Lisa coming in from the UK says, you did an amazing job. I watched that episode this morning and loved it. Thank you so much, Lisa. Stephanie Young. Lisa Mann is coming in from Northern California. Lisa Mann and I go back. She actually went through coaching certification. She was in the graduating class with me, and we're hopeful to maybe do a retreat this year in Arizona together. I do owe her a phone call back. And Emma says, love your work, Jay. Keep it up. And so I want to take a moment just to thank all of you that joined me live on this virtual hike this morning. I'm curious, how do you feel after doing this little, maybe 30-minute hike with me? Hopefully you got your heart rate up a little bit. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more open to receive today, whatever it is that you need to receive. And let's see who else we got. Dharam says, Dharam Patel is coming in from New Delhi, India. And that's the beautiful thing. We have a global community. We are all connected. I've got friends like Dharam and Vamel who reach out to me twice a day on average, in the morning and at night, coming in from India, just to say good morning, just to say good evening. How am I doing? How is my day? These are men that are positive thinkers. They are on their own healing journey, and I am so grateful to have friends in my life today in the community with me, reaching as far away as India, Bali, the UK, Australia, Canada, South America. Priyu came in a week ago from South America and shared her story of her backstory. And so with that, it is Saturday here. I'm going to get on with my day, and I completed most of my self-care. I've got some more I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm going to do some studying. I've got a lot of studying to do today on continuing on my healing journey. I've got some replays to watch, and I'm excited for what's going to unfold and what I'm going to learn about, continue to learn about myself today. So take some time for self-care today. What I learned over my healing journey is that through self-care, that was the gateway. That was the gateway first to liking myself, eventually falling in love with myself. And so there you have it. Take some self-care, put down that to-do list and carve out some time to do something that fuels your soul, that makes you feel good about yourself, that gives you some time to learn and grow. And with that, thank you for joining me. We'll catch you next time. We got Melanie Proctor. Melanie Proctor, good to see you. Melanie is coming in from Thailand, of all places. Thailand is where Melanie is coming in from. Melanie, are you going to be in Las Vegas at the Quantum Revolution Tour, March 22nd through 24th? I hope you are, because I look forward to meeting you in person. We did meet in the studio. We did a show in the fall together. But in any event, I hope to see you in Las Vegas. And Phoenix Jordan is part of the Quantum Revolution group. Good to see you here today as well. And Dharam says, you are the great inspiration for millions of people. Dharam, thank you for those kindest of words. You know, Dharam, here's my truth. I just show up and I share my reality. I share my truths. I share coming from my heart, putting myself out there, in there, on there, and just coming from the space of being authentic and being honest and truthful and sharing the highs and lows of my healing, the highs and lows of my life, the highs and lows of the journey that today is beautiful. And you know, the best part is when I feel pain, when I'm uncomfortable, and I get to look at it and I get to grow. And that's how life is different today. You know, in the past, I didn't look at it that way. I didn't know I had that choice. It was easier for me just to live in the muck of it and blame others for my unhappiness. And today I choose no longer to blame anyone except myself. If I have to blame anywhere, I just got to look inward and then just learn a lesson. And I don't have to blame. I don't have to shame. I just look at it as a growth opportunity to learn and grow and then pay it forward and share on the front end, the middle, and the back end of what that experience has been like for me. And so I just did that today. I just shared 3 different triggers that hit me. Mary got hit with one. I am not going to share hers because it's not my place. It's her business. It's her story. It's her journey. And when she's ready to share it, if she is, she'll put it out there. But for me, I'm feeling good right now. Thank you for joining me. We'll catch you next time. I do have tomorrow, I got a show going on with Debbie. We got Real People, Real Stories Raw. We'll be coming in. I think we're coming on live at 12, let's say, I think it's 10 a.m. West Coast time, and that is going to be 1 o'clock East Coast time. We've got a guest coming in. Her name is Joy. She was involved in a very tragic accident when she was a very young girl. She was involved in a propane explosion in a cabin, and she had something like 45% of her body. She had 3rd-degree burns, and she's going to come in and share her story, how she survived, and what her life has been like since she started a healing process, and how she's paying it forward today, and how her life has unfolded. So that'll be tomorrow. I hope you can join us live or on replay. And let's see, Jackie says, you know my daughter Amber. Of course I know your daughter Amber. Well, we're going to meet. I have not met her yet face to face, but we're going to meet in actually, she's going to come on one of the 2 shows in the very near term, probably in the next week or 2. And so thank you so much for joining me live today. And I look forward to meeting Amber in Las Vegas. And take care. We'll see you next time. And have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy.